Look at that. Those rays back there. The rest of the sky is literally dark. And the sun sets over there. I think it. I'm not sure if that's a sign or yeah, that's a sign. But anyway, it sets over in this direction. Anyway, it's like here's something I'm very guilty of, and I've seen a lot of people going through it. It depends how long have you been studying the truth. It's like people it's either there's two reasons. It's because they weren't in it for very long, or they've been in it so long that it allows them to start to become bitter and angry and resentful, and then they look for someone to blame. And even though they're blaming 80% of the bad guys, they're actually starting to take 20% of the innocent and counting them in with the guilty. And that number of the innocent getting accounted in as the guilty will increase as, because it's like once someone goes to a certain point, it's like, they're going to follow through with their evil pursuits. Kind of like a Holocaust type situation, basically, or a mass genocide extermination. I mean, they lined people up in China and just put them on their knees and shot them and kicked them in a freaking hole. And that's not the only place these things have happened. And people don't even realize that they're getting swept up in the same spirit that the people they claim to be against. And it's quite sad. And like I said, once they make you angry, once they get you cold, then you start to get bitter. Now you start to get quick to anger. Now you're carrying shit. Now you're carrying your anger with you down past sunset and on into the next day. And then it blooms again, reinvigorated. See, there's a curse upon that. When you carry it, it blows up the next day twice folded. Like, as soon as you get up, man, it's just right on you. It's the same old baggage from yesterday, in a way. And this helps contribute to the love of many waxing cold. I mean, what will cause brother to betray brother? What will cause neighbor to kill neighbor? What will cause nation to go against nation? And it's all it's the same force that starts in each one of our lives, but it didn't start there. It just starts at some point to affect our life. And it's coming from somewhere else. And it's not staying just in your life. Everyone you come into contact when you're under the influence of the poison of this world, which is just thinking too much about this world and forget and taking your eyes off God. And I'm guilty of that too. I mean, for a long time, they had me in this weird Scooby-Doo, man, where are you type of a state of mind, man, where, in which I had the time to come out of that. And a lot of people are just going into it now. And the people who have never considered none of this and that are just oblivious now, they're going to go straight up from this weird manic, from happy, this weird wide-eyed oblivion to wild-eyed, coyote-eyed cannibals, basically, real quick. Dog eat dog, every man out for himself. And I mean, this is you can see how this is wrapping up. And look, I see it in my own life. Most people can't even have a conversation without getting offended somehow and carrying and holding on to grudges. I mean, really sucks, man. And you start talking about real stuff. I mean, it's like people only want to talk it. They don't want to listen to it. You know what I'm saying? And then, always there's a spirit of as the one who strives with the priest, in a way, that someone's always trying to just redirect, deflect, reroute, downplay, distort, manipulate. It's just magicianry, man, basically. Just bending, make it like going out of your way to project your will. You know what I'm saying? When it's like, in order to do that, and you're cutting someone off from getting out what needs to get out, that's that spirit there. I mean, a person who could still disagree with you, but they can let you speak their piece before they rail back on you. You know what I'm saying? But I've noticed now it's like people want to raise their voice as you raise your voice to talk. Like that, it's just like real hard to communicate with people anymore, and it has been in the last year. It's almost like something has got weirded in the energy of the earth, and then you see the nothing's in the place where it's supposed to be. The Eskimos said that they can't use the sun to navigate anymore because it's moved its position. Uh, these would have effects, physiological effects on people moving farther away from the sun when you're used to a particular environment, different pull from the location in the universe. And the last year, people have really got tweaked in the wrong direction, and I've felt some of this weirdness too, because the harder it is for them to maintain, the harder it is for you to maintain. When and that goes abroad, because I mean, just because if it ain't affecting you directly, down that chaos theory butterfly effect, it will affect you somehow. People are oblivious to this, but some of us are not. That's why we're already aware of these things, and these people are going to have to find out, and they're going to feel betrayed, especially when they're living a lie, and a lot of people have given them assurance that this is what's going to happen. And when it doesn't happen the way they think, their love is even going to wax even worse. And it's just be careful right now to not let yourself get overly angry and bitter and resentful about it and hateful about it, because that energy that you're welling and swelling will be flipped on you at one point and used against someone who didn't deserve it. Then how are you not guilty of punishment for that, basically? And that's the big trick in the end. That's why it says he who tries to save his life will lose it. He who loses it for Jesus' sake will keep it. Second Ezra straight up says that the judgment that went to the Watchers, where they had to watch their sons murder each other, which are the giants, the Nephilim, the hybrids of old, in like the Greek stories and Gilgamesh and all that. They had to watch all these dudes fight each other in kind of like a global cataclysm. Well, basically, it says the Spirit's going to come upon the land here where everyone's going to want to fight each other. And we can see this happening now. It's like everyone's hand is against everyone's hand. There is no unity. It is the most divided I've ever seen this world. And they claim that they're going towards unity. But if you're united in your divisions, that is a house that shall not stand and cannot stand, because you cannot use all these forces that are really fighting against one another to forge out something that's really gonna last for long. The seeds of its own destruction are sown in it before it's ever even completed. So that's another way you can look at this. Like, they might laugh at us in the beginning, but in the end, they'll be the ones crying.